Good evening. We'll call to order the Village of Chelmsford Board of Trustees work session for November 2024. First item is 31 East Main Street, Max's Coffee Shop. How are you?
Again, good evening. My name is Marco Maxi. We'll be open a business on 31 East Main Street here in Ansford. Excuse if you let me open that for the business could be call name Max Coffee Shop.
What are your hours operation going to be? What time are you going to be open?
It will be ordering 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. depends on the business going.
7 days a week?
Yes.
How many employees you gonna have?
I think for a start it's gonna be 3 plus myself 4. It's gonna be 6 or 7 people because it's gonna be long hours. To switch.
Sorry, can you remind me of your name again?
I'm sorry,
Your name?
Marco.
Marco. That's
Last name Maxi.
Marco, do you own any other coffee shops?
Yes, 600 Mamaro Avenue, Harrison. That's inside the building. It's not public. It's inside the building.
Got it.
What's the address again? I'm sorry.
600 Mamaro Avenue, Harrison.
And Marco, the described purpose to you says like smoothie place. Is it actually going to like sell coffee? Is there?
It's
actually
gonna be a cafe plus smoothies. It's gonna be mixed.
Okay, so not like your typical coffee shop.
Looks like it's gonna be like cafe. Actually, it's gonna be like cafe. So I don't know. I'm confused with the name.
Okay.
So it's gonna be a breakfast lunch, like a small coffee shop.
So you're gonna sell hot food?
Yes, if you let me open.
You're gonna be counter service and or tables or
No, it's gonna be just take out. People come
just
in,
pick up?
take and pick up. Yes.
Okay.
Oh yes, actually, it's gonna be like a deli. It's like a deli cafe. Yeah, with yeah.
In a smoothie place?
Yes. Depends, how's the business going. I put the smoothies.
Marco, are you aware of similar businesses that would do similar to what you're doing? So like a deli, hot food, smoothies. Are you aware of how many are nearby where you're going to be?
I'm sorry. I'm kidding.
So are you aware of the other shops that do what you're trying to do? There are many of them, nearby delis or, hot food, things like that. Are you aware of how many are near where you're going to be?
No idea how it's gonna be done.
It's quite a few.
Marco, the only reason why I ask is because I want to make sure that you're successful. Okay. And my only concern for you is to make sure that you're doing something different than what the other ones are doing, which is why when I asked you if it was like an actual coffee shop, there is no, outside of a Dunkin' or a Starbucks, there is no like coffee shop, right?
Yes,
So that's why I was kind of asking to make sure or try to see if you were doing something different.
yeah,
from
it's
what they
gonna
were
be
doing.
different because I'm thinking is my idea is put something different menu like a paninis, smoothies. It's different than what they have on the side. I think so. They're daily next to not next to me, but black before me is put something different. It's gonna be like American food, maybe a little bit Spanish and Jamaican food.
Okay.
I gotta work with on the menu.
Mentioned that the landlord is gonna give you some parking.
Yes,
Where, on the streets or?
and that's behind the building. It's near to the buildings behind the name. They had three spots for the space for the parking.
How many spots you got?
Three
For employees or customers?
for employers. No, I'm sorry for the customers. Employees, never we give you a park for the employers. But black for where I am is no meeting parking, so people can park in there.
Anybody else got any questions? Guys? anything? Trustee Coffee, okay for the agenda?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Evans?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Lopez?
Welcome to the village.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
Give me a call about permits.
I will. Thank you. Have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
No, you like the song? Oh, you mean with? Eric?
38 East Main. Excuse me, 38 East Main Street, a new wall sign?
Are they gonna have them on the doors, windows?
I just got.
Ice cream shop.
Hello.
Hi.
Good afternoon. Mhm.
I gave you recommendations from the commission, didn't have those before because they met today.
Commission said recommend toning down the pink color.
I think it's a nice color.
I mean, I think so too. I mean, was that recommendation just based simply because they,
They just thought it was kind of, a lot of things. It's gonna be next to the next sign after this is gonna be next door, which is a black with a pink border. They kind of complement each other, but they just thought it was a lot. It's up
Okay.
to you to, advise people.
So what are you gonna sell here? Basically ice cream?
It's like ice cream pop.
Yeah, it's an ice cream shop, but
That's
the
all?
snacks. Yeah. And we decided to do like pink color because that's the design that we using for La Michoacana. That's the colors they're using for each Michoacana in the stores.
So it's more than one in Westchester County?
Yeah, it's more. And like they have one in Urshel, they have one in Biscayne, they have one in Yonkers. So they all use the same color. Yeah. Mm.
Mushroom store.
So that's like the franchise and the chain. That's what everybody uses, the same sign.
Yes.
So you've obviously seen the sign that's in Yonkers, like you've seen like their sign.
Yes, exact.
So as a compromise, would there be a way of still keeping the La Michoacana in pink, but the background of it being a different color? Right? Because when you think about the sign that's in Yonkers, like the background of that one, the letters are still pink, but the background is blue. So is there
Yeah,
a
they
way-
have different.
right? Is there a way of keeping the letters pink, but then just adjusting the background color to something that's not as bright?
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that could be a great compromise. So you're keeping the logo, but at the same time, it's not as
Mhm.
wowing.
As a background, what other color do you think you may like? Yeah, that looks right.
The color of what?
What other color do you think you like besides the bright
Looks
blue,
nicer.
Yeah.
being pink?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
The
They
blue
send
does
me.
look good.
The
Look at
blue
the
looks
sign.
very nice.
Look at the,
That's Yonkers.
Yeah, that's the youngest one. That's what they sent me to me, so that's what I sent it to the guys to make it, but I don't know.
Because you're probably gonna paint the inside pink, I would
It
imagine.
is already
Yeah,
pink.
right, so.
Mm.
Yeah. I think if you can go with the blue as a background, I think that would be pretty good.
Are you the owner of this particular?
Yeah.
branch?
Mhm.
are you okay with the blue?
Yes, only the thing is that I'm gonna see how they're gonna do, because maybe it's gonna be like blue and the letters like white.
I would
Uh,
say keep the letters pink,
The pink, okay.
because you don't want to mess up your branding,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Mhm.
But I think pink on pink is where like the
Okay.
hesitation is coming. So I would say keep your letters pink,
Mhm.
but whatever your background color is, like I said, the blue looks good, just like the example Mr. Cavacano showed. I think that would work for you.
Okay, I can do
The pink
that.
will stand out better on the blue too.
Yeah,
You know,
But it
it'll-
doesn't have to be blue.
it doesn't.
No, but the pink.
Okay, I can talk
so
about
if it
that,
was a
so
different
I can
color
do like
background,
changes.
The pink letters would stand out and people would see it more.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean, the mayor makes a great point, because when you take a look at this, the pink on pink, you may not necessarily actually be able to see what your name is.
mm-hmm,
Right?
okay,
So a new business coming in, you're gonna want to draw attention to it. The pink is gonna draw them in, but
okay.
you want to make sure that they can actually make out what the name of your business is.
Mhm.
Good point.
Yeah.
You know, read the name too.
Mhm.
Okay, I can do that. So if I can change the color, I have to bring you another copies again? Or?
Oh,
and
I
then-
like to see the way it looks.
Email.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so if you could give it to me, I'll scan it, I'll email it to them.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, I can do that tomorrow. Okay, thank you.
And
Thank you
also,
so
this won't hold up. If you're ready to open, when everything's done, you can open, just the sign will come when you're ready, you know,
Okay,
all right?
thank you.
And I'll be there. Can't wait.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, why are you changing one?
Yeah.
It's ice cream.
Trustee Corp, okay with the change?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Evans, okay with
Yes,
the change?
sir.
Trustee Lopez, okay with?
Absolutely, yes, sir.
38 East Main Street, the barber shop.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Wait, so this is the pink place.
Next one. This one's to the left of the ice cream.
What is the letter K stands for?
My name,
Your name, and your name is?
Catherine.
Is it lighted?
Again?
Is it lighted?
Yeah,
Sign has lights in.
No, it's in-
yes. The only thing I can see in the picture is because I see they have pink on the, I don't want that color. So just black and white. Not pink.
You're not gonna have that.
No, not pink. Just the picture to say.
So the pink border is coming off.
Yes.
Okay. Trustee Caulfield, okay for the agenda?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Evans?
Yes, indeed.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Lopez?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, all set.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. You guys can go. You hold on, thank you, just. He'll be in contact with you to do all the paperwork. 91 East Main Street, Mr. Lash.
How you doing?
Good.
Oh, yeah.
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good. Long time no see.
Yep.
Is something you want to do, or did Duncan makes him change them every so many years?
Well, we're gonna do the interior also. So, yeah, we're gonna do, I'm gonna be starting at the end of the week. We're gonna be doing the inside, changing it over, getting rid of the Dunkin' Donuts and turning it into just Dunkin'.
Right.
So the exterior is well 50 years overdue. So,
Are you gonna remain open? Well,
no, we'll close for the interior remodel.
how long that's? gonna take?
Probably 4 weeks.
Oh, no.
We have other stores in the
I was
area.
gonna say, thank goodness there's like two more within,
Yeah.
3 more within driving.
Go right over to the gas station, we're right there, so. But it's basically the same materials as that, the gas station at 92 West Main Street. It's just how they structured it in this building, because it's freestanding.
Are you doing the parking lot as well?
We're gonna seal coat the parking lot, repair any patching and then restripe it, yes.
That's what I thought, okay.
To try to knock the 1950s out of it.
Trustee Coffee, okay for the end?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Evans?
I mean, we'll miss the nostalgia of the
Yeah.
1950s, but yes,
Hopefully get some pictures of that. Good.
yes, all good.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Lopez?
Thank you for having the name of the village
Yes,
incorporated in the
I
sign.
think it'll look sharp.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay.
It's gonna be on the inside also.
Very good.
It'll be in there, so.
You're all set. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Nice seeing you guys.
Likewise.
5 Fairmont Street Solar.
Good evening.
Hello. Hello.
Excuse me. Trustee Coffee, okay? You're good?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Evans?
All good, yes.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Lopez? Thank you, sir. Thank you. Nice job.
So much. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
You too. Street Club Lane?
Evening.
Good evening.
All the panels are on one roof in the back facing the tree line.
There's no rendering on this one because you can't see the roof from the rear of the house.
You know, tried to. squeeze
Got
in
that little one in the
little
bottom
one
right
there.
hand corner there.
Yeah, bottom corner.
Get the little panel on it there. Trustee Coffee, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Evans?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Lopez? Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank
Good
you.
to see you.
Have a good evening.
You too. We have the village engineer's report on the lead water line.
This has been a very complicated, long process we've been involved in, and it's now coming to a sort of a conclusion with notices going out to the public. So I wanted Tony to make sure that you guys were aware of what the mandate that was passed down from the federal government to the state government, even though no one ever passed a law. Oh, did I say that? That you knew what was going on because these letters are going out and Tony will explain just so you're asked. And we'll make sure Tony will email you all 3 copies of the letters. I think there's 1 copy was in the packet, just in case you get a question. So with that, I'll turn it over to the smart guy.
So I want to start off by explaining that for the past 25 years, we've been treating our water to sequester any lead and copper from leaching out into the drinking water in your home. And we've never had a violation. We've always, we sampled originally every 6 months and once a year. Then our water was so good that we were able to reduce our sampling to once every 3 years and never had an issue. Along came Flint, Michigan, that had a financial crisis and a major mismanagement of their water supply, switched supplies, long story, there's books about it. But the result was the pH changed in their water and it caused a lot of lead to leach out of their older lead services, causing a health hazard that took many years to remedy. So as such, the EPA came up with a stricter guidelines, stricter rules, and this was kind of a knee-jerk reaction where they're still writing the rule, but we're supposed to start enforcing parts of it. So what it comes down to is we had to identify all the service lines in our system. And the tricky part is there's 2 parts to every line. There's the pipe that goes from the water main to the shut-off curb stop at the curb, which we own. And then from the curb stop to the house is another section of pipe, which the homeowner owns. And they're not necessarily both the same material. So it's easier to go in someone's basement and see what pipe is coming in, but for us to identify our side, we have to dig up the pipe. So we went through, we have about 1,142 service lines to identify. We went through our records and memories and dates of when houses were built and permits and so on. And we were able to identify 435 of the services so far. And we were given a spreadsheet list to populate from the state. Of the ones we identified, we only have 3 lead services, 3 galvanized iron services, which they recommend also get replaced. The rest are either copper or the larger ones going to businesses or like a ductile iron pipe. So the remaining 698 homes and businesses will be getting a letter explaining that we don't know what their material of their pipe is. I'm not anticipating from what we've seen so far and around the village and when houses were built here, I don't anticipate finding a lot more lead in the system, but we have to go through the exercise and find what we can. So everyone will be getting a notice. Those 3 lead homes will get the lead notice. The 3 galvanized homes will get the galvanized notices. I put them in the mail today. And the others, the water department guys will be going through and labeling up the letters and sending them out by the end of this week, which is the deadline. And then we'll have to renotice people every year if we don't know what their material is. But in the meantime, we'll proceed with trying to identify more as we go, digging some up, and so on and so forth. So the idea is over time, we catch up on it all and know what's in our system. That's about it. I mean, you know, the notices going out, it's a little scary to some people. I got one at home. My wife said, "Oh, we have lead." No, that's not what it says. So, you know, hopefully people read it thoroughly and understand it. But we're here to answer questions. They have our phone number on the form. If they have any questions, and we can help them identify what their pipes are and move forward with this.
Thank you.
Tony, just a question. On the letter that you're sending out, are you mentioning that the village has a system in place to get all the lead from the water?
It doesn't get into that part of it, but it gets into if they want to have their water sampled, and if they call us, we'll explain that part. But this is basically the wording we got from the state, so we try not to, make it too complicated, and it was complicated enough.
Thank you.
So, yeah.
Fire alarm replacement project.
Oh. Yes, we have. Our fire alarm is completely outdated and not serviceable for this building. When you get it, if you get an alarm, it doesn't tell you where it is in the building. It just says it's a fire. So yet the fire department has to walk around, find every fire head and check to see if it's blinking to know where the alarm even came from. So, and the panel downstairs is not serviceable. It's just outdated.
How
So-
old is it, Tony?
No, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, probably more than that. Yeah. Yeah, at least 25 years, because I've been around that long. So we got 3 quotes, and I went through them. The lowest is a reputable company, and they actually offering a little more equipment than one of the some of the others are. So I recommend we go with JC Security.
Bless you.
And actually, it might be a little less than what they're quoting because they quoted a dialer. And we don't need the alarm to dial a central station to then call us back to say, call our fire department, our police department back, because they're here 24 hours a day. So, the panel will be right next to the police desk. So if there's a fire, they're gonna know about it. So I was recommending we award it to JC Security Corp.
How often are these systems supposed to be updated?
If they're serviceable, you can keep servicing them. But they don't make these parts and they don't make these panels anymore. So basically, when it comes outdated that you can't repair it anymore, then you have to update it. So it all depends.
So I guess I should rephrase my question. How long has it been outdated?
24 years ago.
Yeah.
The problem with the parts being made to replace them not being made anymore? Okay. Was the problems that we've encountered recently requiring the fire department to have to walk around to figure out where the fire would be?
Yes,
Okay,
Yeah.
because there's a certain part that would tell them that we don't get anymore.
right.
Okay.
Normally, they're called addressable heads. And the panel will say fire in court clerk's office or in administrator's office or,
Okay.
police desk or whatever. These just say fire.
And just for context, when we say recently, are we saying a month or are we saying like 6 months?
Probably in the last 6 months,
Okay.
maybe we had an issue. We tried to get it fixed and then they came in and said, there's not much we could do with this. You have to replace it. And then it was a matter of getting quotes and dealing with the water stuff and everything else in the meantime. And
Thank you.
But fire here, the alarm could go off.
Oh, no, I have no doubt about that. We just wouldn't know where where it's burning.
Follow the smoke.
Yes. Just-
There's a lot of dust in this building, so when something happens, these things start firing all the time.
So we should keep the balloons at home for a while. Right.
Trustee Caulfield, okay for the agenda?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Evans?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Lopez?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Review the fire department recruitment plan.
So you got in the packet, you have, really it's a suggestion of a menu list of things that the fire department is looking at, and this is the follow-up to the meeting that you had today. So at first, they wanted you to review this, and if you had any questions or even further suggestions for Pete as they, they dig deeper into this. A lot of good ideas.
Yeah, nicely done, Chief.
Yeah, I just want to mention it was good to see this on the agenda. And I'm not trying to say this as hyperbole. I think we've reached a crisis point. And this is something that has to be a top priority in terms of recruitment. In reviewing the list, I guess my first question would be to you would be, in what ways can we best support these efforts, right? A lot of the things on this list are things that you would do internally as a department, whether it's a social media campaign or, open houses and things like that. There are other things that are very clearly would be, things that would be under our purview, but out of everything on this list, where do you feel we would best be of support to accomplishing your goals?
Well, obviously the items that say like the incentive programs. Helping us with items like discounts on local businesses and volunteers. Boarding that incentive bill, I mean, I'm not thinking it should be done right away, if it hasn't been done already. Helping us perhaps to obtain some affordable housing. Also, put in there, provide tax incentive to local residents who rent to volunteers. That's something that we would need help. If was something that can be done. Really, the housing options and the incentive program there, really need help. From the village. Then also in the partnership, we also put down, including and involved by the fire department trained village workers. We spoke about that already, but we have some resources there that we could use during the day. So any help or support we can get from that part would be helpful.
What have your neighboring volunteer departments found to be most successful in terms of recruitment?
A lot of them are doing the same things we're doing. Some of them have a lot of mutual aid members that they obtain to help out. Terry County in one particular department, they have a lot of mutual aid members. We do as well, but I think they allow others, mutual aid members that don't necessarily work in their village to help out. That's something we may want to look at. We'd have to change our rules. That's something that we may want to look at.
One thing that I noticed was collaborating with the schools to introduce students to like firefighting through classes, internships, or cadet programs. Excuse me. I think working with the school to offer those students some type of credit for joining. And that may need to be something that is worked with the school and Southern Westchester BOCES as well, to really draw them in. But on top of that, they're still under the age of 18 at that point. You don't want to lose them. So I think considering a considerable amount of the students in our community may go to WCC for their first 2 years, or even when they're, going off to school for 4 years, they may end up doing a school that they're commuting to. I think doing some level of tuition reimbursement would be able to be a way that would attract those that you're introducing it to as high school students to actually get them in as members for at least 4 years. I think us trying to figure out a way to do some level of tuition reimbursement could be helpful for that as well. And I'd be glad to help you guys shepherd that through as well.
Something to keep in mind is that the history shows that what kept the department going, especially during the day before with the employees of the village. That's not happening anymore. For whatever reason. But during the day, that was the it. Fire went, and unless it was a water main break or street was closed because of what have you, everybody dropped them and then to get a call. Yes, the volume was not the same, number of calls wise, we doubled the number of calls now. I don't think this station will be for every gas alarm or for every nonsense call that we get, which is a lot of them. But if it's a potential fire, smoke in the building, car fire and things like that, I don't know if it's anything the village incentive wise or some other way to approach those members that already have experience as firefighters, that we don't have to even train them anymore. To be more active with. I don't know what the legality behind it, I don't know if it's anything. I just want to mention that prior to, that was a big part of the fire department survival. The village event of Irvington survived because of that. The school workers and village workers, they all stop and go and get the trucks out. Some of the work, the firefighters from Terrytown, the same thing, they work for the village, they drop and go. And the thinking behind it is the village. We want to go in and do that. I just wanted to mention that.
Thank you.
On the partnership one, this is consider training. Excuse me, village workers as drivers. Kind of similar, we had a couple guys doing with the ambulance,
Yes,
same concept.
yes.
Not to be firemen, just,
There will be some training, sir?
no, but they won't be firemen, they'll just be
Right,
drivers.
but they will have to take that part of the training, yes.
Right, and then if my memory serves me, the driver also operates the truck. Right, the
Right.
pumps and everything, so we'd have,
Some classes like pump operator class, EVOT.
they'd have to teach them to do that.
Driving. It's just thinking outside the box.
Yeah, no,
They
it's,
can just be a driver and operate, work as a chauffeur.
Yeah.
driver.
because that frees up, like, I'll say Nelson, for example, instead of him driving, he can actually do the other stuff, and then somebody who's not, you know, an interior firefighter or something like that can,
But think of this, sir, if you were to incentive a person who works for the village to go and do a pump up class during daytime, maybe they, they get paid to go and get a class, let's say that, right? Part of it is a regular person taking 60 hours or whatever number of hours of training that they require from their personal life to go and get this training to help us for free. That's where, maybe you guys can find a way to make that happen. Anything that we can get right now, we're doing everything we can. We're talking to other departments to do mutual aid calls and mutual amounts to conflict, things like that. But everybody's tried. Like, yeah, we should have somebody who can go, but they don't have anyone either. And it's getting scary. Tell you that. Sorry, chief. I mean, fucking much better. Actually, about it.
For the point this is not a one fix problem, one fix solution. This is gonna be a multi-layer solution that we have to look at. And the end, the further distance one is the biggest issue is how the affordability of, look, over here. We've lost good members who were the future of officers of this department. Have moved away to different affordability. And that's one of the biggest problems. Everyone, volunteer firefighter.
Let me ask you a question, guys. I would love to see affordable housing for our volunteers, not only firefighters, police officers. How can we get this done? What are we supposed to do to get this done? Are we supposed to go to Nap Hill and say, listen, can you give us a couple units? How is that done?
I think, look at it, right? I think for the immediate here and now,
I think you could look at some of the companies like Extended Stay. To, you know, work with them, possibly securing a couple of rooms, almost like a, well, kind of like a dorm type of scenario, right? In the here and the now, at some point in time. And I don't know, you know, the feasibility of having an apartment, you know, an apartment for that price. That's more long term, because that's gonna have to be really budgeted. But more on that possibility, the short term, that would be the quickest, easiest way. And we would have the department come up with rules and regulations of what we're expected of that individual, what their training requirements are, their dedication level is. If you just don't want to hand out a free room, free apartment, whatever, and nobody comes out, that's not what we're doing. This is, we're helping you to help us.
Real quick add to that, Sean in my office lives in the town of Merrimack. And they have housing there that he qualifies for, and he, you know, because he's very active in the fire department there, he's an ex-chief. And he lives in the apartment that, you know, is subsidized, or it's, you know, workforce housing, whatever, for the volunteers. And as long as they make up for a certain amount of money, they get to live there.
Does the town own it?
That-
Does the town of Marinick own it?
Is it the town or the
I
village of
believe
Mamaroneck?
so, or it's through a. The town has the leadership role of it, I'm not sure how the ownership.
Another issue that I have, well, question that I have, you mentioned that, some members, some employees at the village used to help driving the trucks. What kind of liability do we open up by allowing them to drive the trucks?
They have to be firefighters, and they have to be trained.
Oh, okay.
So there are members that are firefighters that work for the village. That don't come up.
And they do that because they don't have the incentive to do so? It's gotta be a reason. I'm trying to get it.
So the main reason is work. Second reason after that is there really is no incentive for them, because, for example, when they're, take Joe, for example, Joe's working during the day, he goes on the call, he doesn't get fire service reports. So there's no, so you lose one of the incentives.
Hold on, so he works, he comes to work every day. He gets a call, he goes, he's helping the village. But at the end, he's not getting points for,
Fire service.
Right, you can't get it, the service award program while you're working.
because you couldn't pay.
So that's one of the drawbacks. I'm just saying this is one example. That's one example.
What were you thinking about the revising the mutual aid requirements? What's your thought?
Just allowing, others that don't necessarily live in the village or work in the village to be a mutual aid member, as long as they're a fireman somewhere else.
That's not a local requirement. I mean, that's, really a state. It can be a district. It can work in the district. I mean, that's one of the things that I thought about, is getting more aggressive in recruiting from businesses within, outside the village, so in the two fire districts.
In districts.
Because they're probably not aware that, I mean, a lot of them aren't aware that they could be a member, that their employees could. That's the first place, I mean, because you guys have done a fantastic job recruiting, got signs all over the place. That's one of the things I would do too, is move the signs around a little bit. But now it's in a different place. But then maybe we put a mailer or something together for just the businesses and the whole residents that are in the fire district, not in the village. Try to recruit those people. Because I don't think we get those people.
No.
Hi, can you continue with the example that you were gonna give me? Can you finish the example that you were gonna give me about the village employees?
Well, just two off the top of my head, or the fire service award program, and that they're busy doing something else.
Yeah, but you were gonna give me a scenario of an employee going on a call,
Yeah.
not getting service points.
Doesn't get.
Yeah, but that, Is that the law or is that something that we,
No, it's just,
oh,
that's the state law.
That could be a law, that could be a state law that can get changed. I mean, a lot of these things are state law issues, a lot. Like, you wanted to do a tax rebate for a resident for rental units, that's a major couple of year process with the state. And then you're gonna have people come up with that. Right now, I know, like, I don't know if they give a rental incentive, but I know they give priority incentive. They might give a firefighter or police officer, that if there's a list, you get extra points to be on the list. I don't think they're 100% occupancy, that could be wrong.
wait, you
Some of these other larger places like the Elm and Apex, I mean, we can reach out to those people and say, can you give a discount?
You just mentioned up here that they're willing to give discounts to police officers or firefighters. Is that something new?
No, yeah, when they opened up, they had affordable
I
units.
can tell you that when my son lived there, he did not get a penny off.
Did it help?
Yes, he was.
When was it? 'Cause we've had.
When he first started.
They've had owners that
Oh, you're right.
were good with us, they've had owners that.
Yeah,
weren't
you're
so
right.
good.
They changed owners like 3 times.
Now, the people now, I mean, we can reach out to them and we can have a conversation.
We should.
I couldn't see in today's market, construction of new housing for just that without it being seriously subsidized. And I don't know where that subsidy would come from. But, I mean, we could reach out to them, simple email. Tony and I have contacted all the people. So
Can we do that as,
We
can we do that?
can do.
Beautiful.
I also just want to remind you of the impact that given the centers or whichever name you want to call it, the EMS, make EMS what it is now. I think that there are people willing to do more as long as it's not for them. It's just the people with the 2 jobs not willing to just get up with regular on. But EMS was 0, pretty much. And it's somewhat super stable right now because of what we're doing with that. Not to say that we work the same, but if you find something similar, it will probably have a significant impact immediately to the fire department while we're looking at these long-term solutions. Immediately, we need to find something to do. To have our own members start to come up.
Chief, are you guys just, did you guys just internally come up with like this list so far?
Yes.
Okay. I think I confidently believe that this issue rises to the point that I think there needs to be a larger committee or working group that's consistently meeting and working through these issues. I don't think that we're at the point where we can just have this conversation this month and then, we wait another month and then we just keep talking about it. I think there has to be a working group that's consistently addressing this going forward. And I think that working group needs to bring several different sectors together. I think it needs to include the fire department. I think it needs to include EMS. Think it needs to include members of this board as representation there. I think there needs to be a member of the business community. I think there needs to be a member of the school district. I think it's time for us to bring every single one of these sectors together that we're looking for cooperation from and partnership from to be successful. We've got to bring them all together to the table as a group that are consistently working on this. Because I don't think this can just wait. I think we have to get to a point of action. And I think we need to empower a group to be able to start to take action on this. So we've got to get working on this sooner rather than later.
What do you got in the fire department to put this together? And who put this list together? Just you or? I didn't. Okay.
Right. collaborating with the different ideas.
Nice. So we got the report from the shelters for the dog shelters, and they all passed. So that report from them, get that every year. We got a request from NICOM to send a letter to try and increase funding to the cities and villages and towns. Trustee Caulfield, okay with that? Send that
Yes.
letter? Trustee Evans?
Yes.
Trustee Lopez?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mike, you don't need it on the agenda, do you, for that?
Why don't you do that?
Make it a resolution? Right, yeah. That was gonna be my next one. Yep. And Trustee Coffee, okay with adding the letter for the fire department too?
Yes.
Okay. Trustee Evans?
Yes.
Trustee Lopez? Thank you. If you'll see agenda, we posted it last month. Supervisor Funner attended to brief us on the town budget. He already released the budget. But he was working on it, doing expenses first and the revenue, checking with the controls office to make sure that the A and B budgets are being allocated properly. He questioned and see if other towns and villages are doing the same as he was. They're looking at 4 companies to study the court and police building. The town has $12.5 million in the bank saved for the project. Possibly move the court, let the PD have the entire court building and the police department building. So they're looking into hiring a company to do that very shortly. Villages discussed supporting the town study about the court. The Old Dell House is still in question. Some of the other municipalities are questioning what it's going to fall under, if it's going to be a museum or what it's going to be and how it's going to be paid for. They want some more justification or proof why is the Old Dell House in the A budget and how did it end up in the A budget, even though Mike has explained it to him numerous times. And they're still questioning that. Dobbs Ferry was talking about, does anybody still have the little spots on the streets for the restaurants? They're going to continue doing those. Dobbs Ferry makes residents maintain their sidewalks, including repairing them. But they're debating who repairs the sidewalk when the tree ruins the sidewalk, if it's a village tree, so they're having that issue. Sleepy Hollow is going to buy a message board and he's going to get us a price and see if we want to jointly share one. with all of us.
Where would that be located?
What?
That joint sign.
Excuse me? No, it's gonna be a mobile one. No,
Oh.
so anybody can use it anytime they
Okay.
wanted to.
Correct. Getting one.
Right.
City Hall, they buy one. We can share it too.
Okay, got
I
it.
think they have.
Right. They want another one too, yeah.
We have.
We have one.
We have two, one that's, well, we had.
One, yeah.
How much of it?
25 to 30 minutes. You can get a real small one for like 17, 18.
So did you say 25 to 30 grand?
Mm-hmm.
That's part of the conversation.
I'll stand outside with a sign and wave it for half that.
Well,
No, I
flat,
mean, are we serious?
will you do it for 15,000? You're hired.
You would put some Christmas lights around my neck and literally hand me the sign, and I'll do it for half that. I mean, that's,
Small speed ones,
Hmm.
really small, that's all they're putting. One of our colleagues would say, oh, we got one of those, we got a message. She said it was happening. That was on the chip.
They don't even know.
Yeah.
Mm. Dobbs Ferry is still borrowing the county's vacuum to suck up the lantern flies. Sleepy Hollow wants to do the same thing. Everybody's against the centralized arrangement. We'll get that information and we'll get it to the agenda so we can send a resolution to that. The grant is coming up for the upstart of food scraps. So as soon as Irvington's in charge of that, as soon as he gets that, he'll let us know. And the ADUs, the municipalities that did opt in adopted different laws. And it's hard for the assessor to keep track of what's going on with all those. Yeah. Yeah. Motion to adjourn the work session? All in
second.
favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried? Please